He could have become one of Australia's richest men, but Jeffrey Lee has turned his back on a fortune. As senior custodian of the Koongarra uranium deposit, he has decided not to allow mining on his land. Instead, Jeffrey Lee sought to have the area World Heritage listed. Now he's hoping the final chapter of the story will be completed and his land will become part of Kakadu National Park. Emma Masters reports.
Kakadu Ranger Jeffrey Lee is coming to the end of a long journey, a hard-fought battle over more than 2 decades to prevent mining on his traditional land.
Jeffrey Lee has had quite an amazing journey to protect his traditional estate. He has argued long and hard in places as diverse as Koongarra and Kakadu, in Darwin and Canberra and now in Paris. Jeffrey has argued long and hard against uranium mining on his country.
It's been really tiring for me, I had so many things on my shoulder. It was too heavy, and I need to let some load off. So I'm pretty happy now.
You can eat the water lily stem. It's like salad,
Jeffrey Lee is the last surviving member of the Jock clan.
He's an old fella, this one. He's been beaten around.
His parents died when he was a teenager, leaving him as the only traditional owner of land that's become widely known as Koongarra.
There's everything here on this land is so special to me. I hunt here, I go fishing, that's bush food that, you don't have to go to a supermarket.
Koongarra sits in Kakadu's heartland, just a few kilometres from Norlangi Rock.
Koongarra is fully surrounded by Kakadu National Park, which is a World Heritage listed park, but Koongarra itself has never been inside Kakadu National Park legally. It obviously is ecologically, environmentally, but it's not legally.
If the Northern Territory government had its way, mining would start as soon as possible. If the Aborigines who live nearby had their way, it would not.
The name Koongarra has become synonymous with public debate about uranium mining. Australian mining company Noranda discovered high-grade uranium here in 1970. Noranda developed an environmental impact statement and negotiated with traditional owners to mine the area.
In 1981, that proposal was approved. So had the company at the time moved under that approval, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Back those days, it was really different. We just have, quick decision, push. And all of a sudden, my family agreed and they wanted this mine to go ahead.
By the 1990s, there was ongoing public protest over uranium mining in the Northern Territory. Hundreds were arrested during demonstrations against the proposed Jabiluka uranium mine.
All blue tongue here, we're just walking around the country, but you see up there.
Jeffrey Lee also began to voice his concerns about the proposal to mine uranium on his land, and a moratorium was placed on the lease.
If we do muck around on country, disturbing it a lot, something will happen.
In his quest to put a stop to the threat of future mining, Jeffrey Lee has asked the federal government to include Koongarra in Kakadu National Park.
He's turned his back on a lot of personal wealth. He's stood up to a lot of pressure, and he has said that there is a bigger responsibility here, a cultural responsibility. There is a bigger gain here than my personal bank balance, and that is looking after country.
It is a gift, and that gift is always going to be there, and that's always they will always remember when they'll visit this country, this area.
I really admire the bloke. I think he's extraordinary, and just the simplicity of his love for country and wanting to see it protected.
Where we are now, we're at Burungo now, Norlangi Rock.
The federal government is keen to support Koongarra's inclusion in Kakadu.
I mean, you come out here to Norlangi Rock and you've got one of the best vistas out there you'd ever have. I don't know that too many tourists come here and say all it needs is a uranium mine.
It's a very special place, culturally through the stories, the connection to creation stories, through the Lightning Man story, through the rock art, and environmentally through being a key catchment area, home to some very important flora and fauna.
Yeah, this is the gate.
The Territory Government has also backed the move to include Koongarra in Kakadu. That's angered the mining sector. Miners say the government has sent a negative signal to investors by openly stating it doesn't support mining in the region.
It clearly frustrates the industry, and it in fact raises questions about sovereign risk. Is the Territory a good place to invest, particularly where large amounts of investment may lead to snap decisions that result in non-support?
A few months ago, Jeffrey Lee travelled to Paris to make a personal plea to UNESCO to make Koongarra a World Heritage Site.
I think one of the most precious moments I'll ever get in a job like this was in the middle of the night when I got a call from Paris, and it was Jeffrey Lee letting me know that UNESCO had just approved the World Heritage listing.
It's recognition for Jeffrey, it's recognition for Koongarra, and it's a big step and a big push of the momentum to get on with the job to get Koongarra protected forever.
French energy giant Areva holds the Koongarra mining lease and don't want to let it go.
I don't want it to be an ongoing legal game that is simply causing pain for someone who wants to see this concluded and protected.
One of my things is that the ranger, I like catching crocodile.
Jeffrey Lee continues his work as a ranger in Kakadu National Park. With world recognition secured, he hopes Koongarra will be included in this special place.
I don't want to wait too long. Get this thing over and done with it, and it will be there for future generation, for people all over the world.
A final meeting between Jeffrey Lee and Areva is yet to happen. We approached Areva for an interview, but they declined.